Good evening, ladies, gents, Manchester United fans all over the globe. It's Monday. It's 8:30. We are the Man United Agenda. Good evening, guys. Oh, Rebel, you're back. How you doing, big man? Long time no see. How you been?
How we all doing? It's good to be back, and it's Monday, and the rumor mill and possibly deal confirmation seems to be getting closer. So we're finally getting out the traps.
We still haven't reached there yet. Monday, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. In the words of Europe, it's the final countdown. And this week by Friday, hopefully, we will be getting our signings in and be hushing up a few people out there. You know, big signings, big name signings. That's what we're about. Yeah, I'm really excited this week.
Pat, how you doing, big man?
I'm not bad, Mr. B. I'm not bad. Hopefully we can party like it's 1999 when we got our first signing. It's a long time coming.
Look.
Everyone's going to be gutted, isn't he? That we're doing song choices. He's missed out.
And he's, what I will say is the transfer window still hasn't officially opened yet. So we're not behind anybody else. You know, just we'll get there. We'll get there. A couple of guys in the chat. Obviously, talk as always. We see you. Brash, we see you with your popcorn. And I still can't say the first name. So I'm just going to say O'Connor. We see you there, man. Yeah, look. When I say it sounds like I'm not saying it right. So I'm just going to say O'Connor. He knows who I'm talking.
You're going to have to get the eye of the tiger, Mr. B.
Oh, God, I don't know. I'll have to get the eye or something, man. I'll have to get the dark in my screen or something. But yeah, look, we're here. It's Monday, first day of the week, lads. Obviously, you know, we're excited about what may well happen with all of the talk of maybe a certain centre midfielder coming. But look, I think we should start with maybe one of the players who we've been pushing hard for, it seems like. Antony. What you got for me? You know what? I'm gonna go to, just for this. Obviously, we know a few things about Antony. Speaking to Pat earlier on, he did mention a little something that maybe you guys didn't know. So Pat, what have you got on Antony? Obviously, we've had our chat. We've been on here before. If you've seen us, we've given our rundown, but we want to give your what's the word? Your view. I want to hear your view on Antony.
Yeah, look, it's good. This fella, he seems to be like kind of an Alex Ferguson signing where they go and meet the parents, meet the lad, see what he's all about. He seems to be a humble, intelligent lad. He's a young man with a young family, so he's not going to be out tearing her up if he does come to Manchester United. He has, strangely enough, for a 19-year-old, when he was 19, he actually wrote a book about the pressures of playing of the pressures of being a Brazilian playing for the national team. So he's got a head on his shoulders as well. So he's an intelligent lad. So this is all very positive. And I've looked him up. And the first thing I like to look up, because we seem to have a lot of players in our team that are injury prone, is he has a good record of not carrying many injuries. He's had one bad injury now in the past 2 years that kept him out for 8 games. After that, he had a couple of knocks here and there, probably missed 4 to 5 games over the past 2 years. Like that's probably less than some of our lads have missed in the season. So that's a very good start if we do get a young lad like that in. I was looking him up. He seems to be a left-footed player, generally left-footed player. He likes to run down and hug the byline, come in on his left and have a shot. He's a tricky little player, but he's not a very selfish player. He's not afraid to make that pass at the end and let somebody else put it in the back of the net, which is always a very good start. So Yeah, he's a positive little player. I have a few more points on him, but I don't want to steal the show here. If anybody else wants to add anything, yeah.
Amondi, what have you got for me, and what are you feeling about Antony?
Well, I've got a lot of fear about this guy because I'm used to Brazilians being called names like Socrates and Zico, Pele, Garincha, Ribelino, Eder, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. But now we've got players like Fred and Antony, and it does, it does.
His full name is Antony Matias dos Santos. So,
Phew.
So when you hear that dos Santos, you're like, oh,
yes. I mean, come on, how plain can you get? But yeah, thanks for bailing him out there because I was starting to.
We won't call him Anto.
Yeah, but yeah, just to jump on what Pat was saying about Antony, I'm really impressed by him. There's a number of players in that position that we've been looking at, and I kind of, to be honest, I've been honest now. I like Rafinha. Say it gives you the same left-footed inside forward, that kind of thing. Because I've seen more of Rafinha, I do like him a lot. But the major factor for me is that he's worked with Ten Hag. He had a quote before Ten Hag left saying he wants to, if you need me, I'm there, basically saying that kind of thing. He knows the system and he'd give you something different. And I think it'd be exciting. What tends to happen with these exciting players when they come to the Premiership, they've got a couple tricks. And at first, I was like, oh my God, did you see that? He does it for a few weeks. And after that, the Premiership adapts, and evolves and learns how to deal with people like that. I remember Tino Sprilia done his little chop, and people, oh my God, Kanu, or Kocha with his little team. That soon stopped. And he's got a bag of tricks. I think it's going to take a long time for people to really suss him out. I like the idea that if we would have Antony and Sancho, because in one-on-one situations, these guys can drive at fullbacks and defenders and really sort of offer a scary experience for any kind of Premier League defender. And that goes out to the best out there, like Cancelo, Trent, whoever you think you are. These guys one-on-one will really do some damage. And hopefully we'll get in situations for our new system where we will get in one-on-one situations and exploit these fullbacks, because we've got the players now to do that if Antony does come in. Also, you got to give him the ball in the right areas. I think he's intelligent enough to come in and know exactly the role he's supposed to be playing. So I'd be fearful if we started with Elanga maybe or Rashford, where they're supposed to stand, where they're supposed to be, what position they're supposed to be when we have the ball, we haven't got the ball. These are things that we have to learn from day one. And by the way, welcome to pre-season, guys. I hope you're vomiting in buckets today. There's a lot more to come. But yeah, Antony, I'm excited about. I'm really, and what's the most promising thing is that he's actually saying he wants to push for a move. Because recently we know the manager of Ajax was saying enough's enough. We're not releasing any more players. I think it's just to raise the price. But we're going to talk about other players as well from Ajax. But this is the main one that I would really get excited about. And most fans on the eye would get excited about too.
Rebel.
How we doing? I'm not going to slander Solo's main man, right side Fred, but look, the one thing I will actually mention, and we do have a graphic that we're going to come to shortly, but we have to remember that we have seen players transition from the Dutch league before. Some of them have been great, aka Ruud van Nistelrooy. Some of them have been misses, aka Kesman, and a few others. So there is an element of risk to any player that comes in from the Dutch league, because we do not know what direction that signing is going to go. And at £70 million plus, there's a lot of equity that we will be committing to a deal like that. But let's get this graphic up on the screen. So Ajax winger Antony is reportedly keen on a move to Manchester United, according to Fabrizio Romero, the real one, not Rasmano, as I got cut out with a couple of months ago. The Brazilian wants to move immediately to Manchester, so he's actively pushing for this one, it would seem. His entourage is reportedly pushing for a move to Old Trafford after selling Sebastian Haller, Nazuri Mazarui, and Ryan Gravenberch. Ajax are reluctant to part ways with Antony. He wants the move to Manchester United immediately, so he is sending a good message to the club and Manchester United to come and get him. After missing out on Darwin Núñez, United look at Antony as an option for the right wing.
Okay. Here's a question for you. obviously Ajax's price has changed because they know that we're interested in him now. Apparently we've been hit with an 80 million euro price tag when earlier on in the season or earlier on in maybe tentative talks, they were quoted at 45 million. Couple of questions for all three of you. Start with Pat. One, you feel confident that this deal will actually get done? And obviously he's been linked with Chelsea now. And Ziyech looks like he's out of the door at Chelsea. Do you think there's any chance? I'm not saying Chelsea can hijack the deal because we haven't done maybe the full groundwork, but do you think there's any chance that Chelsea could jump in and pay the money that Ajax are looking for and take him away?
Yeah, they could, yeah. But aren't they also linked to Raheem Sterling at the moment?
Other side,
Yeah,
play him on the other side.
yeah, true. I'm not too sure. What I'd say about this lad is, what did we pay for Donny van de Beek going back a few years ago? Was about around the same 45 million, was it?
About
Roughly,
40
yeah.
mil.
Yeah, so we'll probably get, if we were to go for a realistic price and get him from Ajax, we'll probably get him from around between 55, I'd say 50, 55 million if we were to go in for him. But in saying that, Mr. V, if Chelsea do come in and they have the money to spend, yeah, they could hit us with that 65 million and blow us out of the water because we won't pay. As much as we would like him, I can't see us paying it.
OMONDI.
That would be our stumbling block.
I hear what you're saying, Pat, but the only issue for me is the Chelsea got Champions League football, and I know Antony would like to play Champions League football. You know, as you were saying earlier, he's quite ambitious, and he's played every year at Ajax in the Champions League, so that's his stage where he wants to set the world on fire. But I do think we've got more of a law, having a manager, having a few ex-Ajax players, and having a project where he'd be loved by the Man United fans. He'd be a legend here. We're a bigger club, got more historic than Chelsea in that respect. So I think I'm guessing that would be a better option for him at this time. You know. Also, I do think the Sterling deal is a major deal for them. There's someone they really do want to get in. I think apparently he's going to go ahead. Sterling going to Chelsea. Really interested in signing that for me because Chelsea do play wing backs as well. So I think that should leave 2 in midfield maybe and 3 up the top. Who knows? I don't know how Chelsea are going to play that, but that make Chelsea, they're going to be lighter up front with Lukaku leaving. So they definitely need to bring some players in and they definitely need defenders as well. So I think there's a few clubs out there that could be in the market for players that we might be interested in as well over the coming weeks. And that would include Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal, who all seem to be doing some business right now.
Rebel.
Yeah, I take your point that Chelsea are looking for players Monday, but I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, if they're bringing in a wide man in Sterling and that's their priority for that particular position, Lukaku would have been more of a central role, and unless they plan to make Antony a central fulcrum of their point of their attack, I think maybe unless they have extra money that they're going to go for both positions, it might be unlikely that they do also opt for Antony, but could be using him in the event that something goes wrong with the Sterling deal and they're just keeping in touch with it. But let's just look at, I suppose, from the business perspective. If it was a situation that we could have got Antony for 40 million earlier, I can't help but think back to that disastrous transfer window where we had Fellaini, where we could have triggered him for 25 whatever million at the start of a window, and we ended up paying almost double it come the end of that window because we were left with absolutely no eggs in the basket and we had to pay what Everton wanted. So the possible problem I'd have with this deal is, has it now become an afterthought? And are we going to end up paying a premium because all of a sudden the other options that we were looking at, they're off the table, but we no longer have that?
A few technical issues are going on here at the moment, guys. Look, something I also want to ask you guys. A couple of days ago, when obviously Ajax returned to training, Antony missed the first day, and obviously we had heard that he wanted to join us, and I think we went a bit crazy with with our opinions and our hoping that he was being that typical Brazilian and you know, pushing for his move. But since then, he's posted on his Instagram story that he's actually recovering from injury because he didn't play any of the Brazilian games over this period. Do you think it was a ploy to maybe frighten Ajax into? Do you think there was anything in that? Any of you guys?
Not for me. Not for me. I think these days, look, there's enough in the news already to say that, you know, and the news doesn't really lie, especially when Romano and all these guys are tweeting about it or making stories about it. I think there's enough there to say what's going on. The way that Ajax have countered that is by recently coming out and making statements about, all right, if you want to buy this player, here's an asking price, which will please the fans as well. Because they say, well, we don't want to get rid of him for 40 mil. We'd take 80 mil, and that would appease all the fans. Or it would also sort of drive clubs away that could be interested. So Ajax are playing it smart. They're in a good position right now because, as you know, they've got a great talent pool of youngsters coming through, next generation. And who's going to know more about the next generation than anyone? It'll be our manager. He's going to have his eyes on Dutch football. He all in his head. He knows who's who, what sort of players to look out for in the future. So who knows, later on in the market, we could snipe one of their youngsters who's going to develop and be the next big thing, you know, that name we know about. This is what happened when we bought Antony Martial. We went out and bought him because he was the big thing at Monaco at the time, only for them to say, yeah, take him. We've got Mbappe to come true, you know, so you have to be careful sometimes, don't you? So I think Ajax are playing it smart.
Rebel.
Yeah, I have to agree with that sentiment. But I don't think there's anything else I can add to the Antony conversation that we haven't already heard. So I'm just going to pick up a comment that I just spotted there from Joe White. He's saying that sacking Ralph was a big mistake as he had the ability to identify quality players. Well, he's basically putting in his own little spin on it. But I think what you have to think about here, though, is we are after seeing reports that apparently it was Ten Hag that said, do you know what? I'm not entirely happy with this working arrangement, and Ralph then, as a person with much football experience, decided, okay, I'll just throw everything into my new international job. I'll take my handshake from Manchester United and I let the man work. I've done what I came to do. I've shone a light where I wanted to shine light, and now it's over to the new manager to carry the torch forward.
Could we, while you're on the messages, could you just read out a few of these messages for me? We don't want to leave our I don't know what.
Yeah, sure. So HD Gamers in house said Antony wants to come. That's good enough for me, to be honest. I want to say hi to Tyrone Williams. Long time to see Tyrone. Tyrone's a real bona fide Man United fan, and you know, enough respect from me anyway. He says, I'd love Antony to join Man United. Reminds me of modern day Rivellino. Who doesn't know, Rivellino is a fantastic left-footed player from the 60s, 70s, won the World Cup 1970. Pure skill and trickery, and even has more of his own. United need to get this deal done. Be gutted if it doesn't. HD Gamer again is saying, did I just hear that you compare Fred and Antony? I did. Federico Rodriguez, De Paulo Santos, as Pat told us earlier. Halftime said Antony's a decent player. Encouragingly, he says despite not having a huge work rate, he's very disciplined in the system with a good end product. I expect we will get a similar level of performance to Rafinha. Connor says Antony's going to be a massive star in the future. HD Game says we're actually going to get excited about a manager doing training. Yes, we are. Chiron says bad news for Rashford if Antony comes in, because I can't see him getting in over Antony or Sancho. What do people in the chat think? So he's asked a question.
I think they're going to play. I really think he's going to play for the middle. I really feel he's going to play for the middle.
We'll discuss that. Bathtime says preseason starts July the 20th for him. In it, ice cream and Angel Light until then. That's in his Bathtime football team. Matthew Bassett says, I'm more optimistic than pessimistic about United for the first time in years and years, which is saying something. That's because you watch our show, and we are probably the most positive channel out there. Brush is saying, guys, everyone say hi to Brush. We've got a salute to Bart Brush, man. Does some really good things behind the scenes. Tyrone says if Liverpool sell Salah, they could move to Antony. So Man United need to stop messing around and get the deal wrapped up. Tyrone's really anxious about this. He wants deals done quick time. Halftime saying I can't see him going to Chelsea. With their width on the right comes Reece James, and Antonio is a player that works best providing with width. Bill Baggio, how you doing? He said, what I do like about the current crop of Brazilian wingers, stroke forwards in Europe, they're all grafters, completely different to the past of R9, R10, Ronaldo, Neymar, those guys. Do you want to say hi to JJ the Shooter? Don't know who you are. Put your name in the comment, but you obviously know me. Joe White is saying sacking Ralph would be a big mistake. This was saying about Ralph could identify players from lower clubs and make stars out of them. I want to say hi all the way from Australia. He's saying good morning. You might be surprised. Yes, it is good morning in Australia right now. He says, wow, Beck, check out the big Barnet. Check out the Barnet on the big feathers for miles. Okay. And final one from me is from Ralph. He says, Ralph Ranick would go down as worst. This is from Bath Time. It says, but Ralph Ranick would go down as worst appointment in the history of the Premier League. That tanked this club, destroyed morale, threw everyone under the bus to live our populist wet dreams. Okay.
Right.
There you go.
Guys, if you are in the chat, please say hi. You know, we know there's a lot of you who are watching and stay silent. Just say hi. We will say hi, but we do recognize the newbies. If you are new to the channel, also hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you've been here before, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button.
Before we go on to the next topic, can I just announce something that we are working on? And because there's 36 in the chat, there is some fantasy football going to be coming in the coming season. Details will follow shortly, but keep your eyes peeled for our post on the Man United Agenda Twitter account for our new fantasy football related content coming soon to the Man United Agenda.
Oh, I like the way you snuck that one in. Well done, well done.
Good man, Rebel. Good man.
Right, guys. Obviously, there's another issue that's really been in the news today. It's been in the news the last couple of weeks, but it seems like things have taken maybe look, season starting, players are back. Obviously the gossip was there. Now certain things need to be sorted out. Harry Maguire. Oh, OMONDI's gone. Oh, he knew what was coming and he's gone. Oh, OMONDI.
He read your mind and gone.
Look.
Let's say it while he's gone quick.
I'll get my pardon me. I'll get my point in before a Monday comes back and look, I'm not. Look, it's a new season. New manager, new formation, new system. I'm quite open to, especially the first few months, everyone being an option, a valid option, is what I should say. So, what Mcguire did last season, my memory's not very good anyway, so I'm probably gonna forget. I just remember he was crap half of the time. I don't remember what he did anyway. So for me, everything's a new start. It's a regroup. If Mcguire, I'm not gonna write off Harry Maguire. The formation that we were playing under the manager that Beek could play, he didn't do a good job, but he could do a good job. My obviously we've got Cristiano Ronaldo up and about, and now I'm beginning to think, there's rumors that obviously the manager is thinking of taking the captaincy from Harry Maguire. Just a couple of names, a few names I want to mention to you. Robson, Bruce, Cantona, Keane, Gary Neville for a very short period, Vidic, Rooney, Carrick, Antonio Valencia, Ashley Young for 6 months, Harry Maguire. Of all of those names, I feel that there is one or two people who probably shouldn't have their names on there, but due to circumstances, their names are on our captain's list. Do you guys feel that taking the captaincy away from Harry Maguire would be detrimental to his form, or would you think it would be a hindrance or a help to his form going into next season? OMONDI.
Well, I just think like the power cut I just had, you can't have a power cut at the club. You got a big, strong defender, someone who took us to second place, who was a leader. England's probably number one centre back, and he's just been getting pelters. And as you know, on this channel, I defend him like he defended in 2 years ago. Pretty good. Obviously, there's been some really poor form by most players and the team, and I'm going to include the whole team in this. Everyone has to take responsibility. He's all right pointing out Mcguire for his numerous mistakes last season, but we can also point out poor form from other players throughout the pitch. You know, people not scoring goals, people not delivering, people not working hard enough. There's so many players out there, and you got to build. I had to say you can't just blame defenders all the time. I'm a defender myself. I don't like it when I see strikers giving the ball away, midfielders giving the ball away, and then as soon as we can see the goal, it's the defense's fault or it's the goalkeeper's fault. That's just a typical thing to do. Maguire hasn't helped himself, I believe, with his form. I think he needs to sort of improve his game slightly, even at his age. But I do think there's a player there, and I do think if you cut that, like I say about the power cut, if you take the power away from someone, you're just gonna he's just gonna deteriorate even more than he is. At this time, he's on a low. You take that away from him, it's the only thing he's got left. It's gonna maybe destroy him. I think you give him the captaincy for this season. It doesn't matter. There's other players on the pitch who can talk and do all that behind the scenes. It's like it's got to be the club policy now to sort of keep things more guarded and protect players. You know, you take this captaincy away from him. Next thing you know, the fans will be. There's another thing to them to shout at him. Ha ha ha! You lost the armband. You're not no good. You're It doesn't matter. Just give him it. Just keep it with him for now. I think it's detrimental to his form. He wants the captain's armband. He wants to have that. If you take it away from him, it seems like you're just slapping him because you just listen to what they say. Give him an opportunity to get back his form. Give him an opportunity to start representing like we know he can, why he was signed for us in the first place, why he delivers for England, why, in the Euros last year, he got them to the finals. I keep repeating these things and how he got us to second place. And how also in the final of the Europa League last season, a couple of seasons ago, we failed. And because I believe Harry Maguire for the last few games was out, and we really felt his presence not being there. So for me, I would say keep giving the armband, keep it, and get off his back. Anyone's got something to say, justify it, and just say it's not the whole team. Now we've got a new coach where we can coach things in, where we've got a system that's going to make players more comfortable, where we can have a bit more possession. Let's start. It's a new era. Forget the past. Out with the old. Let's start with the new. Let's refresh. Let's cleanse ourselves, and let's be baptized in the new era of Ten Hag.
One day, preach, Fred, I preach. Oh God, you know what? I can see Rebel itching, but you're gonna have to wait.
One Pat, have go at it first.
Listen, where do we start with Harry Maguire? He's not at fault for how poor we were last season, where we were really poor as a collective, and taking the armband off him because of how poor the whole team was would be kind of blaming him on everything that's gone wrong, even though he was very, very bad last year. I won't take that away from him. What I will say is, I was reading a couple of quotes from Steve McLaren, and what Steve McLaren is saying that he builds with his coaching methods, and obviously with Ten Hag's approval. It's not down to Steve McLaren. The captain is the captain, but they build a team with a couple of lieutenants. There's many of captains within the team, and that's what we've never had before. So what I think is going to happen is, even though Harry Maguire may be the captain next year, you're going to see a lot more influence from other players, including Ronaldo and other players being told to step up around them. So all the blame and all the pressure isn't just put on Harry Maguire. So do I think Harry Maguire may be the captain next year? Yeah, I have a feeling he might be.
And now, before I know, Rebel, I can see you itching. Just a little statement. I just want you to read out, and then you could have your riposte to OMONDI.
Okay, so we got another graphic here regarding Harry Maguire. He's left unhappy over Manchester United's captaincy disagreement. Defender Harry Maguire was given the honour by former manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just 6 months after his record-breaking move from Leicester City back in 2019. And he has struggled to convince fans and pundits alike that he is the right man for the job. In fact, the issue for which a player could lead the 20-time league winners reportedly caused the squad some issues last season. According to a recent report from BBC Sport, the Red Devils' first team was split following a disagreement that saw Portuguese megastar Cristiano Ronaldo emerge as the candidate-in-chief to take the armband from Harry Maguire. And I think that graphic actually summed up my first point actually regarding this. Harry Maguire had arrived at the club 6 months and they were putting the band on his arm. He was barely in the door a wet week. He was still finding his feet and he had this added pressure added to him. Now, I'm going to look at this in more general perspective rather than there's no blame on Harry Maguire for that. That is the decision making of the manager of the day who was putting his stamp, his general on the pitch to be the reflection of him in order to carry out what he wanted to achieve on the tactical side of the pitch. Now, Ten Hag, he's a new manager and he has here at Manchester United, and he's every right to appoint who he feels will reflect his wishes to carry out instructions on that pitch. And that the question of the captaincy, regardless of whether Harry Maguire had a great season or a poor season last year, would be in question because this is another manager and he needs to appoint who he feels he can trust to carry out the duties. But Harry Maguire, in his own right, probably will have to watch getting the starting 11 because if we sign another defender, you have to remember we have a guy called Raphael Varane, multiple Champions League winner, also going to be fighting. So if we invest money in a centre half, you would expect that one of Mcguire and Varane is going to lose out. And then that's going to come down to form. So you got to ask yourself, does Ten Hag have the right to change the captaincy? Yes, he does, because he is the manager now. And he's not in the business of sparing the feelings of any player. Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, it doesn't matter what name, they are responsible to do what the manager tells them. So if Harry Maguire loses the captaincy, he needs to accept that fact, move on, and focus on doing what he was brought here to do, defending.
So, defended on Monday. That is your. So, go on, Pat. Yeah, go on.
I totally agree with Rebel. And if Eric Ten Hag is going to walk into this club and just say, okay, I'm going to give Harry Maguire the captain's armband after a couple of preseason matches, well, then he's just as bad as the last manager. So would I not be right in saying Eric Ten Hag is going to come in and say, Harry, you've got 6 months to a year even. And if you don't prove yourself, the armband's getting taken away. Or you're on trial for 6 to 12 months. And then after that, we'll make a decision. But one thing I'll say, and this is my own opinion for next year, if there's any of this running into each other and falling over the ball next year, and talk of lack of confidence, I'll go in and take the armband on myself. You'll see me running on the pitch like a lunatic. I won't be able to take that. I can't take another year of that.
Can I revert this back to you, Mr. B? What's your opinion on Harry Maguire? Do you think he should be captain next season? You've listened to some really expert views from the three of us, but I think you should have the final say on this.
Well, I mean, I'm the host, so I actually don't have an opinion. I've learnt this from Solo, that the hosts sit on the fence so that they don't get abused. So what I'm going to do now, look, honestly, on Monday I said that you went off screen. That last season was last season. This is a new season. You know me and Mcguire, man, we weren't best friends on them watch-alongs, and I got fined a whole heap of money. So I have a personal hatred for him, financially. But new formation, new manager, new system, new season. I expect him to play, and I expect him to be better than he was last season, because he can't be any worse. But I do expect to see a change in how he plays. If it's not, then get your ass out of the team. Captaincy wise, I do believe that I think it played on his mind a bit too much. If I'm honest, I think if he's captain, if he's not captain, he can just concentrate on his own game. I don't watch cricket. I don't like cricket, but
Joe Root.
that's the guy.
Yeah. I was
Joe
about to
Root.
give that example.
Yeah, Joe Root. They've been cussing him, but he's still been. The team have been shit, but his performances have been good in regards to. So the whole team was crap in the court results, but his individual performances, he still did the job. But now the captaincy's away from him, you can see he's flourishing even more. I don't think Mcguire even had the good period as captain. He had the first year. Let's not be too harsh. His first year he was good. Second year he wasn't good. So me personally, I would like it to be removed from him and given to somebody else just to take the pressure off his head, just to see if he can get back to some sort of form.
But wouldn't that also add some pressure to his head? Because then that gives more ammunition to the social media, all the fans who are already on his back. If you give it to him, I believe you could continue to let him have it. It will say that'd be a sign of solidarity with the club, saying we're behind you. We want you to continue having it, even if it's just a token thing. And when we know behind the scenes it's really Ronaldo running things behind, that kind of thing. I just think if you do that, it's detrimental to him and to the club. It's not a good look from the club. We need to get behind our players.
You know what? I do understand that, but there has to come a time where players are made accountable for bad performances. He should have got dropped a lot of the performance that he had, but because he was captain, I feel he didn't get dropped.
I'm gonna
I
come in briefly. Just OMONDI says that he needs to be given it as a token gesture or whatever, but the cleanest break that we can have to change captaincy is now, because the new manager has come into place. He is laying out his philosophy. If he chooses Harry Maguire to be his captain, it's because he believes Harry Maguire can come out of whatever rut that he's in and do the job, not because of sentimentality or whatever. He needs to be the guy that Ten Hag puts his faith in to carry out the role of captain. So if you're going to make a change, if he's going to take it from him, now's the time, not in 2 months or 3 months' time.
Can I just add, Tyrone's saying here, if Mcguire can't deal with losing the captaincy, he's not a United player. Players need to toughen up. As a manager and head coach, it's your job not just to look at the physical side of things. You got to be a master of someone's spirit and their moods and their family life and what goes on behind the scenes. You have to be able to push their buttons to get the best out of them. Maybe if Harry Maguire's coming out and saying to fighting for this, maybe that's showing the right desire to say I want to try and keep it. If he said, "Oh, I'm done. Oh, I can't take it anymore," then the manager would take it away from him. But I'm glad he's going to put up a fight. It seems to me he wants to put up a fight and say, "No, I can do this. I might be on my face right now, but this is when I'm on my face, I can only look up and I can only get better and really try to achieve something here." That's what I'd like to see from a.
Here,
Rebel.
I think Cookie's coming in there and saying, "I smell BS on Monday. Stop yapping and flapping your gums."
There's some very good comments in there. Do you want to read some comments?
Yeah, and before, look, as I said to you guys, if you are new to the channel, hit that like button. Don't sit there in silence. Don't be shy. Just say hi. We will say hi back. Rebel, over to you, man. Let's hear your dulcet tones getting some of these questions out here.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Where did you leave off on Monday?
We're on Mcguire.
Mcguire, hang on. Okay, there's still a lot of talk about Antony being starred. Here we go. Tyrone Williams. He says, with regards to Mcguire, it's not just the poor performances that annoy me, it's the arrogance in his interviews. If he owned up to being poor, people wouldn't lay into him so much. He can improve, though. So, a critique followed by an endorsement there by Tyrone. This name is absolutely fantastic. But Deasy says Maguire needs to leave, so he's saying get rid of him altogether. Emma K. The second Leicester game, I kept an eye on Maguire, and he kind of hung back from what I can remember. Maybe Ten Hag will use him like that if he's not quick enough, but he shouldn't be captain. So again, another one saying he might be good enough to play in the team, but not for me as a captain. Bill Baggio, you don't need pace to be a quality defender, just a good footballing brain. Unfortunately, Maguire has neither. Ooh. Colm O'Connor, I hope Harry shows us that we were all wrong and he's actually able to play for us and maybe be a captain after Ronaldo leaves. Interesting. So he's saying hand it over to the Portuguese talisman for the season and then maybe get it back. That could be a debatable issue though, but thanks for your input, Colm. Anthony Herbert says Maguire was wanted and swapped deal with De Jong from Barcelona, but Ten Hag stopped the deal. I don't know how much truth there is to that one, I'll be honest with you. I'd imagine if the player had an interest, if Barcelona had an interest, it would have been something that would have been put on the table earlier because the delay from what Fabrizio Romano was saying it was over the fee. And if you can use the player, that obviously then has overcome a lot of ground between where the valuations are. So I think that one might be a bit of white smoke. Paddy says, never a captain of the club. We have a multitude of leaders, but he is not one. And we have one from down under, Mark Edmond. Mcguire is a stopper. He is great when sitting deep. He is great in international games when the tempo is slower. And also bear in mind, England normally play 3 at the back. Just kind of something to consider. I don't think he can play Ten Hag's game plan, but he hopes he is wrong. And I just want to say there's now 79 of you watching us in the chat. So please, if you are new here, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell to let you know when we go live to discuss all things Manchester United. And as I mentioned earlier, brand new to the Man United Agenda channel, we will be bringing some fantasy football to the table for next season. And just to give a sneak peek, there will be a fantasy football show. So we will be discussing all matters fantasy football. So if that is your cup of tea, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button.
Guys, I've enjoyed this little chat, but we've got couple more topics to talk about. Look, we count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Apparently, this is the total of these are the amount of deals that we've got in place now. I would love to believe that, I'm the king of positivity, and right now, because we haven't made one, I assume that there's going to be a snowball effect here. I would like to think that we do have our fingers in more than one pie. That could be the reason why we did bring Keane, the solicitor in. It's a short contract, but maybe if he does a good job, he could be working for his future as well. So I'm gonna put it to all of you guys and the guys in the chat. 4 players that we've been linked with. I really hope it's not 3 from one club, as the rumor suggests. But do you think it would be a benefit to get 3 players from one club? And do you think it's something that we could do? Obviously, we'll name the names as we're going. You name the names. But I'm going to start with you, Pat.
I think 2 is realistic. Every time I look up for Fabrizio Romano, everybody seems to be signing a player from Ajax. So how many players can they sell? They'll be in worse condition than us starting the season next year. So I reckon we'd be doing well to get 2 out of them. There seems to be a bit of competition for the Martinez lads from Ajax. Obviously, Antony is one of them. Look, I know I don't like to be talking about them, but I know a couple of years ago when Liverpool came in, they raided Southampton. So what's to stop us doing something similar? So that's it.
On Monday.
I think 4 is fair. Remember when Ralph was at the club, he said we need about 4 or 5 signings. We've done show after show after show. We looked at it. We've lost about 11, 12 players in and around the first team squad. We're not going to reel them off, but you know who they are. They've all left either by freebies or by voluntarily leaving the club. Like Matic, I think he had some time to run in his deal. He's left as well. Then we've also got players like Jones, Martial, Tunzebi, Williams, who all turned up at training today, mind you. We've seen their picture coming through that door, and we're saying to you, is this the last hurrah for you? I mean, are you going to win the Beek test today? Are you going to show something outstanding to prove that you're meant to be here? I don't know, but there's a lot of players on the cusp of leaving the club, I believe. And Martial was smiling. Funny enough, if you see the footage, he came in and everyone's spudding each other. How he coming, walking through the door, and Martial was smiling. I said, that can't be Martial because he's usually poker face, isn't he? So maybe he's had an attitude adjustment and wants to change. But I think 4 is acceptable. I'm in no rush. The first one would be Frankie de Jong. We've spoken about Antony today as well. So there's only one player from Ajax, actually. We've talked about Ericsson, who's also fluent with the Ajax system. He's come through the ranks there. But as Bergkamp said, he's the most talented young player he's ever seen, two-footed. We've seen what he can do. And I think under Ten Hag, he could be exceptional. A really good asset to our club. And the third player, I think, could be a fullback or centre-back, which is what we really need. And maybe a couple other, maybe a fifth player, a midfielder. But we say midfielder, but I think Frankie is enough.
5.
No. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying maybe, but I'm saying we say midfielder, but I think Frankie coming in would be enough because we have Donny around him, Donny, Fred, Bruno, McTominay, and then Garner, Hannibal, and then Zidane, Savage, and Kobe as well. There's so many young players out there that could play in that position there in a 3-man midfield, which makes us really, really, it makes me excited anyway. I don't know about you guys as fans. It makes me really excited to think of the prospect of these guys coming in, and in a few months' time, we could be saying, oh my God, what a revelation. These guys are fantastic because the system works. That's the most important thing. It's the system. We put the players in and they will be like a duck to water.
Oh, I like that, duck to water. Rebel, come on.
I'm just going to need to take a step back from the regular scheduled program to acknowledge 94 wonderful people in the chat. This is an absolutely amazing turnout. A big hello to ATTV AMUFC. A big hello to Kay Slater, who has joined us there in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Hello to Adita Tika. I cannot pronounce your second name. I'm sorry, buddy. And Steve H. and Dutch Christ also commenting away on the topics of the day. But I'm with Pat in terms of the transfers here. I think 2 major transfers is probably about as realistic as we can get. But I do think there could be 2 transfers of a lesser value that might also come in the door. So if you're looking at 85 odd millions for De Jong, if you're looking at, say, 70 odd millions for Antony, it is feasible that we could maybe get 2 more players in the 20 to 30 million euro range. And just want to say we've broken the ton, folks. 103 wonderful people here live in the chat with us. Please do hit that like and subscribe if you are enjoying what you're seeing, and that notification bell to let you know when we go live to talk all things Manchester United. And remember, there is fantasy football coming to the channel next season, so keep an eye out for details of that.
Just quickly, remember we said how fullbacks are really important for this style of football. Do you think we haven't mentioned fullbacks as these sort of one of the 4 players coming in? Does that mean we're comfortable with the current batch of fullbacks that we have, including Fernandez at left back and Lerd as well, Ethan Lerd?
That's the interesting thing. I actually seen that Diego Dallo has been name-checked by Ten Hag in some articles today as being a player that he very much likes and is keen to work with. So maybe we might see some more development from Diego Dallo during the course of next season. But what I do think will be important is whether it is going to be one of the youngsters coming through that will follow behind him and would be a more like-for-like type swap if we do need to sub him. That would be the key area in the wing-backs, I think, for this season, because I do not think we can have Wan-Bissaka transitioning in and out of the team, as he doesn't seem to have those attributes that Ten Hag will look for when he pushes forward. So that one, I think the backup to Dallo could be more the key question with the wing-backs this season.
All right, before I go any further, I'd just like to say hi to a couple of newbies. Graveyard, we see you there, man. As I said, we've done a detox to what I hope I haven't battered the life out of that. Lubega Ibrahim, we see you. Sonny Igbins, we see you. Matt P, we see you. Shopping Solutions, we do see you. Rory C, we see you. Football fan, Glory Man United, we see you. Gideon Erickson, we see you. Don't be angry. The season hasn't started yet. Don't worry, we've got time. Mosfed Sports, we see you. Louis Clark, we see you. Paviterin, I'm not going to batter your second name, but Paviterin, we see you in there, man. Welcome to the agenda, and I hope you hit that subscribe button. Sorry for cutting you off, OMONDI.
And James,
Yeah,
also
James McManus is saying the same thing here. But we have many fullbacks at the club, considering the youth as well. I would hope Ten Hag will work with these players. There's a lot of competition. And I think the key thing for us is that we finally got a head coach who can develop players. We've really struggled to develop players over the last few years. Don't you think that?
Yeah, like we have some fantastic. There is a fantastic footballer in Diogo Dalot. He just looks lost sometimes, and the same with Alex Telles. And the same with Luke Shaw. They can't be all bad. So finally, we might find, like, we heard all the abuse that Jose Mourinho used to give to Luke Shaw. I wish I could control you and put my hand in your brain and all this kind of stuff, the ridiculous kind of things. That goes to show that, was he not coaching them properly? Like, other coaches were probably looking at this and going, well, you're not doing your job right, Jose. Or it could be Jose was right in the first place, which he has been right in some instances. But no, there has to be some lumps of coal in that team that are ready to come good under Eric Ten Hag, and there's going to be a couple of them that are going to shock us, and that's why I don't think we need that many players. We do need 3 minimum to get us through the season, but we don't need a whole new entourage of players, 5 or 6.
Stop the press. Hold the phone. Andy Herbert. Now, Andy Herbert, you've been with us. You're an Arsenal fan. You've been with us for a long time. Yet it's only now you become a member. And what a perk!
Come on, Anthony.
I mean, come on. You're paying $2.99 I hope a month. So yeah, Andy Herbert, man, thank you so much for becoming a member. That means you can come on to the Friday night takeaway with Mr. B and talk MU and really get to lay it down and let us know what you really feel. And that goes out to anyone out there. If you want to become a member like Andy Herbert, just look us up and click in and pay the £2.99 towards
the family.
Before 140 likes. We want some more likes. That'd be fantastic.
Guys, look, 114 in the chat, as Amonde said. That should be 114 likes, really. But before we go any further, we are going to be doing a fantasy football league. There will be a trophy to the winner at the end. We will get the link up on Instagram. We'll get it up on there. We'll get it up on our Twitter within the next couple of weeks. Basically, we just wanted to join for the first 2 weeks. We don't want anybody coming in on week 13 with a score of 13,007 because they've triple captained Ronaldo and he scored 4 goals every week. We don't want that. That's not going to be fair. So we want you in nice and early. We'll get you nice and in early, and then we'll close it down, and then we'll have a show every week that Rebel will be hosting to get you guys involved. Look, we might even tweet your name if you're top of the league. You never know. You never know. Finally, this is our sorry, Rebel. Sorry, mate.
Quick, actually, it will come under the guise of any other business, and I have noticed. I'll come to you there in a second, Royce, because you have commented about what I'm going to be speaking of. In the last hour, there has been an update on one Frankie De Jong. Apparently, he's very excited to become Ten Hag's first signing at Old Trafford, and according to reports, a £69 million fee with add-ons has proven to be the amount that may have broken this negotiation open. So keep an eye out on reports in the next couple of days because this thing could move pretty quickly.
That's fantastic news. I mean, look, we've been patient.
Connor's confident already.
Yeah, bringing trophies home. You know what happens, isn't it? We're gonna win the treble. One comes in, and we're gonna have a show. We're all saying, predicting we're winning the quadruple, the treble, that kind of thing. You know what? I think as a fan base, we have to be patient, and this is a new strategies, new staff, new people behind the wheel. I'd hate to use that term, but behind the wheel, and it's true. We need to sort of be be mindful that we're making the right signings this time around, and the strategy's got to be slightly different just to ensure. Now, when you hear about Frankie de Jong, we heard the statement he made when he was away at international duty. He's like, leave me alone, I'm focusing on Holland. Then he came back to Barcelona, and it's like, yeah, Barcelona's the biggest club in the world. He has to say these things. But now, it seems, by all accounts, by Friday, it could be a done deal. And I'm sure it's going to be a revelation for all Man United fans and watching the games once the season kicks off, having Frankie de Jong in there and being press resistant, building from the back. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. Dribbling away from players like, tomorrow. It's lovely. We're all happy about this.
Speaking of done deals on Monday, it should have been a done deal by now that a certain presenter today should have already done his forfeit, but he has been skirting
You know what?
the
This is
issue.
what you need to do. What you need to do, honestly, I'm sick and tired of just let me just do that quickly.
Rebel.
He made Rebel disappear.
And
just like that.
actually, and speaking of forfeits, I am going to throw it out to the 118 wonderful people. I am going to be looking for ideas from the viewers for a presenter forfeit. The presenter of the Man United agenda that finishes the lowest at the end of next season will have to do a forfeit, and I'm going to put that in the hands of the viewers. Now, it has to be of a particular style that won't get anybody in trouble and has to be, let's just say, legal. But I am going to put it out there. The forfeit for the lowest scoring Man United agenda panelist that participates, I'm giving you the power.
Ooh.
Boy, I don't like that, but you know what? If Solo's playing, there ain't no way I'm coming last. So yeah, you lot can decide whatever you want, boy. Pat, any other business from you, Mr. Lawless? What you got for us? Anything?
Do you know what? I'm just overwhelmed by the amount of people watching at the moment, the amount of comments and the amount of likes. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody and keep it going, lads. Keep the likes, and if you want to get your opinion, the comments afterwards, any opinion, anything you want to talk about, stick it in there. We'll gladly talk to you. We'll tic-tac with you. And look, get yourself signed up, lads. Get yourself a chance to come on the show on a Friday night. That's what we're all about here. We're one big happy family. Thanks very much, lads.
You know what's exciting, is that we're getting some really interesting forfeits here, like eating a spider or singing, Mr. B. Something Mr. B will never do.
It's got to be singing.
No, he will never do. But he has to agree with it. What happened last season, Mr. B, I had to wear an Arsenal shirt somewhere else. I made a bet which I shouldn't have, and I had to wear an Arsenal shirt and kiss the badge. Disgrace. Yeah, I know. But Mr. B also, an honourable man of his word, he had a forfeit to fulfill, and he never got round to it. So, guys, in the comments, please keep throwing them in about what he should do. And we've even put a poll up.
Yeah. Sorry.
As you know, we have shows every night of the week, Monday to Friday, 8:30. We're out there delivering shows with our big team. So yeah, make sure you tune in, guys. And just a couple of things I want to say. Garnacho, what a wonderful 12 months he's had. He's went to the senior squad of Argentina, trained with Messi. He's come in, had his first team debut as well. He's won the FA Youth Cup. He's done everything. I mean, what more can he achieve? Maybe getting in the first team this season. Who knows? He turned up at training today. He's supposed to be. He's had 17 days break. He's not supposed to come back so soon. But he's decided to turn up and get his boots dirty and do his beep test and show the manager that he's hungry. And that's the desire we like to see anyway. So Garnacho, I really wish you luck, man, because you're really doing things like that, going extra mile to prove that you really want this and the hunger is there. So big up to Garnacho from me.
Speaking of the youngsters, Mr. B, I want to ask the now 137 wonderful viewers, which of the youths do you think are going to come through and make first team appearances next season? How many do you think can make their bow? Because obviously, Mr. B, you and our match commentator TalkMU will be watching these on a weekly basis on the watch along. So
Sunday.
I wonder.
Oh God, what days? Oh, we don't have Tuesday, Wednesday, so it's going to be Thursday and Sunday. You'll have to watch along with with TalkMU on me and TalkMU on the Sunday, and TalkMU plus special guest. I'm going to assume on the. What is 4 and 3 for? What have I missed?
How many? The question you've just been asked about how many young players will get debuts this year. But we already know there's been a lot of some of them have had their debut already. But how many really cement themselves in the first team or the first team squad?
I think.
Can I just throw? I'll just throw mine out there now. I like Kobe, the midfielder. I think he's sort of player.
I think he's too young.
No, I think he's still good enough to get some game time next season and attract the attention of the manager, the new manager. I think he's super talented. That's how good he is. And I think it's all about development, and it's being great. We got good times again. This manager does coach. He's a coach first, and he will develop these young players. He's proven that at Ajax time and time again. So I like Kobe. I like Garnacho to get a first team place and be regularly on the bench. Hannibal's got to be starting most games sooner or later because he was on the bench on the cusp of getting in first team last season. Also, Fernandez, the left back, quite possibly could get in.
Overlaid?
Left back. He's left back.
No, yeah, no, but I'm saying.
Learned as well. Let's see how he gets on the pre-season. He could be attractive. The manager could say, "What are you doing? Don't just send him out and go on loan." But the most important person, the senior so-called youth player who's coming through now, I want Garner. I think Garner fits the strategy of Ten Hag, which I've been really looking closely at Ten Hag's style of play, and I'll be doing a tactical show every Tuesday, going into detail. But I just think Garner has got all the ability there to be a new Frankie de Jong. He can play that role, play deep, be press resistant, bring the ball out, and the's a ball player. And I think the technical style of players are going to get the advantage over the physical kind of players, even though they're working hard today on their first day of preseason training. So I see about 4 or 5 players as well coming through.
We got a super chat from Dale Givvis. God bless you, man. Thank you for that. Which player do you think is going to thrive the most under Eric Ten Hag? I'm going to throw mine out there now. Sancho.
Good shout.
Yeah,
Sancho.
Absolutely. I think the way that he sets up his Wyman, and me and Pat actually spoke about this earlier, they play more sort of an inside forward cutting in. I think Sancho will absolutely do bits in that type of role.
Yeah,
I really can't wait. I think Sancho is going to be that player we all hoped for. All the interviews we watched for the 2 years he was signing for us.
So
how many times? It felt like 2 years.
I think Harry Maguire is going to, when I say it's going to be Harry Maguire.
I swear, I love you so much, bro. I swear.
I think he's the player who's going to be thrive most under him, and I think he will, because we're going to have more possession. We're going to have be more comfortable. There's not going to be counters where the midfielder ahead of the play and Harry Maguire's having to run back. That's the worst situation he doesn't want to be in. I think we're going to protect him by having a better setup, better ball retention team, and that's where he's going to strive. And you're going to start seeing him waltzing, carrying the ball, dribbling, popping it off, getting into the opponent's half, being an extra man. I just really think Harry Maguire's game is suited to this now, and he's going to be comfortable. And once he gets that confidence back, you're going to see him driving in like Bobby Moore or Beckenbauer. And we might have to make a new name for him, Harry Beckenbauer or something like that. But trust me, I'm not even joking. I think Harry Maguire will strive under Eric Ten Hag.
My player would be Diogo Dalot. I think it's either him or Tellez or Luke Shaw. One of these wing backs is gonna come good, so I'm gonna go with Diogo Dalot.
Can I just briefly interject? Can I just briefly interject? The boss man has been in my ear, and he's asked me to let all you wonderful people that are watching us, all 145 of you currently, that we are just 20 likes away from 1,800, or 20 subscribers away from 1,800 subscribers. So if you can help us get to that milestone tonight, we would be much appreciative of that. So please do consider giving us a subscribe, a like, and hitting that follow button.
And you know why these 150 people right now get my respect? It's because they don't watch Love Island. They'd rather watch us. They get sick of Love Island. So big up you guys out there, man, guys and girls. This is real. This is real. Not no fiction around here. We don't play like that.
Can I just say, there's a couple of people that boy I know you're new to the channel because I haven't seen your name. You're laughing. OMONDI is dead serious. He's been backing Mcguire for 366 days. So let's not get it twisted. We've got some love for some players, and the more you watch, the more you will realize and work out. Think this guy's mad, and then he'll have the game, and then he'll try and prove wrong. So guess what? Look, we know this is the beauty of the agenda. Your opinions count more than ours. We've got Mcguire backers, we've got Fred backers, I don't know if we've still got any Martial backers. We've definitely got Rashford backers in here, so it's going to be an interesting season.
We do back Martial. We're all hoping for the best for him, but he's just not doing himself any favors. That's all Martial's problem is.
Actually, I want to throw another question up because Harry Maguire being a centre back, we have been linked again today with a certain Mr. Pau Torres, and I want to know, do you consider Pau Torres to be version 2.0 of Victor Lindelof? Do you think he adds anything extra to the team, and would he be a justifiable target to improve our defence? I really want to know what the supporters in the channel today think of Pau Torres.
Yeah, the comments, if anybody could give their opinion in the comments, that would be really helpful, because he just looks like another Victor Lindelof to the rest of us.
This is a beautiful quote from Kay Slater. OMONDI is amazing. He's in a raft in the ocean, but the man is rowing. See what I'm saying? Fighting against the tide. Listen, he will be the one-man Titanic.
No man is an island, no man stands alone. And trust me, you will all be joining me on my island of Mcguire. all I need from you guys is to tune into the Man United agenda. And your head will be turned. Your head will be turned. Just from listening to my analysis of Mcguire and why I think he can turn this around. Don't jump on the bandwagon with everyone else. That ship is sailing down the wrong river and it's going to sink very soon. There's a leak.
Let's look. I'm not gonna lie. I'm all for Maguire. I'm all for Maguire being in. My laptop's gonna switch off. Can you just take this over so I can plug this in quickly? Oh God!
So I actually have some breaking news. We actually have hit the target. We have reached 1,800 subscribers. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
Big up.
Thanks very much.
Big. Yeah, we really do appreciate you guys, And I think it's going to be a special season, a real special season, because it's the catalyst is Erik ten Hag. That's the biggest signing that we've made, because for one, we've got a coach coming in. We've cleansed the club through Ralph. Since Ralph come in, we've cleansed the club. We've cleared out a lot of players, or identified the players that are really bad apples out there. And everyone coming in today, first team training, has to prove themselves all over again. It's really important. So I think we're on the cusp of something really big here at Man United. And I don't know what your expectations are, but mine are to become like the third best team again, behind Liverpool and City. I don't think we can catch them yet.
Third. Yeah. Listen, no, we want to be back at the pinnacle. Let's not get it.
I'm saying for next season, though, my expectation is
third.
To become the third best team in the land, and that means just behind City and just behind Liverpool. I think the Premiership is such a great league. You've got Newcastle closing the gap. You've got Tottenham looking good. Chelsea, Arsenal, Leicester still could show something. West Ham. The Premiership is a great league at the moment. So if we, with our style of football and the players that we have, and get that spirit back and get people, fans behind us again, I think we've got a good opportunity to really step up and be back where we belong, which is top in a couple of years' time, third next season.
No, look, see, Bill Baggio, 21 is coming. Guys, final thoughts before we wrap up. You know what time it is.
You can go first, Pat.
I want to see a minimum of 2 signings this year. Okay, if it's going to be that kind of season, I think we'll be lucky and we might get the 4, but if I get 2 signings, I'd like a centre back and I'd like Frankie de Jong. We can work with the youth. We can work with what we have. We can improve players. So a minimum I'd like to see is a good centre back and a good centre midfielder. If we get any more after that, it's all an improvement. But we have got young players and we have got players that can improve. So come on, the Reds. And thanks very much for all the likes and the support, lads. This is excellent.
Rebel, what you got for me?
I have to agree with Pat in terms of those two positions. I would also like to see a central forward because I do think that we're going to need to give Ronaldo some help next season. He's not going to be able to play every single game for us. There's just too many of them. But if we get the centre back and Frankie de Jong in, that is positive for me. And by the end of the season, I want to just see progress and see that we have the base for to grow on that, and eventually to rehash a quote that was once said about Liverpool: knock Manchester City off their effing perch.
I'm glad I didn't tell you a long one. Flipping neck. I'm on day.
I just want to say quickly on Pau Torres, I do like him as a player. He's not the best in the air, though, even though he's quite tall. He doesn't win his aerial duels as we would like. But I think when he plays his head up, he's got good dribbles, great stats, on the ball, and would be ideal for this style of football that we'd be playing because we have a lot more possession. So, and he's left-footed as well. So it'd be interesting. It's an interesting sign. I'm in an iron about him. The question was, would he be as good as Lindelof? I'm not sure, but if we can get him for a good deal, I think it could be a good addition. My final word on this would be thanks for everyone tuning in. We appreciate you. Don't forget, we're here 8:30 every night of the week, dropping some gems about Man United. It's all about the Man United agenda, and we've got a lot of ideas going forward for the next season. So make sure you tune in and subscribe and press that little ding-a-ling-a-ling alarm bell.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling. I like that one. Right,
When's
guys.
the watch along list to be? Is it the 12th of July?
12th. We will be working on getting that stream out to you guys. We don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll work on it, and we'll have obviously talk with you. I don't know I don't know how you're going to work that one, another day's work, but obviously talk will be on that. So that'll be the first watch along back. We will push that hard. Also, as I said, we mentioned before the show, we are going to be doing a fantasy league. We will get the code up. It's been a Monday. It's been an absolute pleasure. Today, as a Monday said, we will be back 8:30 tomorrow. Oh, and 8:30 the day after that. 8:30 the day after that, and 8:30 the day after that. You heard what we said. 8:30 every day, guys. If you are new to the channel,
and also 10 on a Friday.
Oh yeah, 10 on a Friday. The takeaway on a Friday, but that's too far down the week to go. We'll deal with that as the week goes on. We'll deal with that as the week goes. It's me, Mr. B, a Monday, my right-hand man, left-hand man on the screen. My two homeboys below me, Pat and Rebel, thank you very much. You guys in the chat, honestly, thank you so much. If you are still watching, hit that subscribe button. If you are new to the channel.
Absolute belt there, lads. Well done.
If you are new to the channel, subscribe, guys. This is the Man United Agenda. We will be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching.